Yes, that's the mood right now. You know what I'm saying? We creeping up in the midnight hour over here. But look, I know it's late in other places, but it's early in some other places. But blockchain crypto gang, CryptTalk, and we got a lot to talk about, a lot of stuff going on in this bull market, man. But let me just let you know, of course, blockchain crypto gang, if you're on Facebook, if you want to share things, you want to learn things, you want to just be part of a community that really needs to start growing. We're almost at 500 members. But yeah, man, it's really going up right now in the crypto world. The bulls are running. We are here. All right. We almost clipped the all-time high on Bitcoin. So of course we're going to get into some Bitcoin news. Solana meme coins are pumping. Solana's pumping. Everything is pumping. And we're going to just go through some of my watch lists and some of the other coins that's out there that's just doing the most. You know, it's crazy that a lot of people really still don't understand. Like these banks are collapsing in front of our face. Every financial institution and investment instrument is looking at Bitcoin. Every whale, every wealthy person is starting to move money towards Bitcoin. We have whole countries adopting Bitcoin. And what did you think would happen? Like, look, those of us who's been involved in this crypto game since the last bull run, we knew this day was coming. We knew it was coming. And the fact is, let's go ahead and look at the chart real quick. Let's go ahead and look at it. Where we at? Right here. Okay. And like, let's just look at it. Right now we're at 66,000. That ain't bad. Right? 66,000. I think we got up to about 68 at one point, really close to the all-time high. And to get this close to the all-time high before the halving, we still have like almost 2 months before the halving. That is very indicative to that $250,000 Bitcoin. It looks like that. Now, I know I've said 150 just to be conservative. I'm going to stick with that. Within a year from now, we will be at 150 at least, is what I'm seeing, right? And it's crazy that a lot of people really just don't get it. Like all the money's moving there. We have a very scarce asset in Bitcoin. And to me, it's not just about the Bitcoin because I don't really plan on selling Bitcoin anytime soon. I really don't. I don't care how high it goes. I don't plan on selling it. What I'm hoping is that Bitcoin pulls my alts up enough where I don't have to work anymore. Let's go ahead and look at the market real quick before we get into a couple stories, before I get into a couple strategic talks, that CryptTalk that y'all could definitely benefit from. But look at Bitcoin, man. It's up 19% almost in the last 7 days. Ethereum up 14%. We're looking at an all-time high for Ethereum, just a mere $800 away. We got Tether, but we ain't worried about Tether. That's a stable coin. That's for different kind of maneuvers. BNB is even doing good, despite the fact that we have CC Pang, who just pled guilty. And I know the last video I did on CC Pang, it was muted the whole time. Maybe I'll redo that. He just settled for like a $4-point-something billion plea deal for money laundering, but yet BNB is still doing fine. Solana's at 130, sitting at the 5th place in by market cap. And I do have a story about Solana. Solana is doing, despite the outage, the recent outage and things of that nature, the meme coins are really keeping Solana on track. Some of the depend technology. We have XRP. Now, XRP is up 16%. That's not bad. I know a lot of people are looking for that $5, $10 XRP. Will it happen this bull run? I really hope so. I don't see why it wouldn't, honestly. We got Cardano, which has been pumping. Look at that, 23%. Cardano, another one of those coins that's going to kind of like rival Ethereum. A lot of building that's going on the Cardano blockchain. I do hold a few Cardano meme coins that are doing very well right now. Like meme season is going to be off the chain this year. Check this out though. Let's go ahead and talk about it, y'all. The last 7 days, Dogecoin and Shiba Inu ripping. Just straight up ripping 98% and 283% up. So all the Dogecoin, all the Shiba Inu dudes, hey, salute to you. I will say this though, it comes with a caveat. And this is something that I said years ago. And I've said it quite often when it comes to particularly Dogecoin and Shiba Inu. And like I said before, you can make money off Dogecoin and Shiba Inu. Here is the caveat. Here's the interesting asterisks that I'm going to put with both those coins, starting with Dogecoin. So Dogecoin, last time it got to its all-time high, the market cap was about 30-ish billion, maybe 35 billion, right? And that's when they got to like 73 cents. So even though it's up 98% right now for the week, most people are probably not actually in the black when it comes to Dogecoin. And that is because a lot of people bought Dogecoin around the top. 60 to 70 cents is when a lot of people bought that Dogecoin when the whole Elon Musk thing was going on. So in order for Dogecoin to reach that number again, in order for Dogecoin to reach 60, 70 cents a coin, which would only break even a lot of people that are holding it. Like now, if you buy it right now, or if you bought it a few months ago, or maybe a year ago, you're good. But for those who bought it when it was at the top, like when it first listed on Coinbase, they're probably still in the red. And because Dogecoin mint so many coins, I want to say it's something like 5 billion a day, or not a day, but a year, a month or something. It's some crazy number of coins that it mints. Because it puts so many more coins into circulation, like right now you're looking at 143 billion Dogecoin. Because they mint so many coins on that blockchain, in order for it to reach the previous all-time high, the market cap is going to have to be like triple, quadruple what it was last time. I'm not saying it can't happen. I believe it will. I believe it will surpass that. I think we could see a $1.50 Doge, which would double up most people, maybe even triple for some that bought it at the all-time high last time. But for those who've been getting into it recently, yeah, they can make a good profit, but don't do the merry-go-round. Know how to take your profits. And it's the same with Shiba Inu. So Shiba Inu, sitting at $23 billion market cap, for it to reach the last all-time high by market cap, it's going to have to get to about 40 billion. Unfortunately, that may not be enough to break a lot of people even, because there is 589 trillion coins. You don't believe me? There it is. 589 trillion coins. So when you're looking at something like that, then you really have to consider the fact that, in order to reach some of these numbers, especially some of these unrealistic numbers, it's going to take a lot. But for those who maybe got in recently, yes, it is looking very good right now. Avalanche Chainlink up. Toncoin, I believe that's the that's for the what's that messenger that I don't really use. I forgot. Anyway, Polygon's looking good, $1.13. So Polygon is a second layer for Ethereum. I think that's going to continue to do well. Let's go ahead and go to the watch list. Let me go to some of the coins that's on my watch list, if you don't mind, before we get into some of these stories. Cardano's on there, of course. Immutable X, Stacks. Now, Stacks looks like it came down a little bit, but Stacks, I've been messing with Stacks since about 60 to 80 cents. And right now it's at $2.90. It does stake. You can stake Stacks. That is a secondary Bitcoin. So because I expect Bitcoin to do very well, I think Stacks, which has the city coins on their blockchain, Miami and New York coin. Remember, both of those mayors are hella bullish on Bitcoin. They both get paid in Bitcoin. Their salaries are paid in Bitcoin. So it has that going on. It has DeFi going on. It has staking for Bitcoin rewards going on. It has ordinals, which is Bitcoin's version of NFTs going on. So I'm thinking, maybe Stacks can get to 100 billion. That would be a nice little flip. I think Stacks will do well. Bonk up 150% on the 7-day. That's the Solana meme coin. We have a lot of these different memes that are really kicking. Look at this dog with hat. Another Solana meme coin up 172%. We got Chills for still pretty low market cap. We have Helium, which is also another Solana. That's part of the DePIN technology. It's not a meme coin. It is down a little bit. But the market cap is so low that with the utility of Helium and the network of Helium, I think it could do well. We have Pith Network and others, Solana. We have Jasmine, I believe that's Ethereum, along with Engine Coin. So there's a lot, saying, look at this. We have Helium Mobile. It's down 5%, but the market cap is still only less than 300 million now. That means that if we see this DePIN technology kick off, if we see the mobile hotspots, the mobile service that's Solana based on the Helium network, if we see those do well, which I believe they can, that's going to be a lot of potential profit to be made off of that. We have Digibyte. I've been a long time supporter of Digibyte blockchain, waiting for it to do something again. Very underrated, if you ask me. A lot of different things that are actually being done on the Digibyte blockchain. I don't understand why Digibyte's not doing way better, but it is up 19% for the 7-day. Digibyte is it's kind of like a XRP as far as the speed and the cheapness to move it. They do actually have NFTs, which are called Digi assets. They do have a lot of different utility. They are a very solid blockchain, a 5-mechanism algorithm for a consensus mechanism for mining. A lot of good stuff. Hive Mapper. I mean, the list goes on. Look at this, though. Sneak. Now, I've told you about Sneak when it was at $5 million market cap and when it was $10 million market cap, sitting at 138 million market cap. A lot of room for moving up, especially because they do have tangible products. Swap, they're adding a lot of different things. To me, I think Sneak has that type. Snick, it's a Cardano meme coin, but I think it has that potential that Shiba Inu had when it first started. So remember, Shiba Inu, I'm not saying that it will get to the Shiba Inu numbers. Remember, Shiba Inu maxed out at about $40 billion market cap. This is only at 138 million. That means that for this thing to get to 40 billion, that would be a 10x and a 40x. That would be like an 80x, something like that. It'd be crazy. But I think it can happen. That's the kind of strategy that I play for these low market cap coins, along with Joystream. Look at Joystream at 16 million. It's down 15%, sure. But if it catches on, now remember, Joystream is like a decentralized version of YouTube. So as you know, my YouTube channel was taken down. CryptTalk podcast was taken down. But because I had it on a different decentralized video social media site called, at the time it was called Library. Now it's called Odysee. I still have all those videos, and you can see the link in the description right now. So if Joystream catches on and they pay you in their coin, the Joy coin, it's something that, consider this. 16 million in the market cap means that if by chance it got to, let's say, 16 billion, and anything could happen in a bull run, if it got to 16 billion, that would be 1,000x. So just think about it. The people who got rich off of those Doge coins, off of those Shiba Inu, when it topped off at 30, 40 billion, they got in when it was like 40 million. If you made $1 million off $1,000 off of Shiba Inu, That means you got in when the market cap was 40 million or less because it topped at 40 billion. That means you got in before you can get it on a centralized exchange. This is why I always say you want to learn about decentralized protocols. You want to learn how to do swaps and conversions on decentralized self-custody wallets, decentralized exchanges, et cetera, because to really take off some of those profits, like the SNCC, for instance, you can't get SNCC on Coinbase. Once it lists on an exchange like Coinbase, which I hope it does, that's when you're going to see the moonshot. So there's that Taboo token. It's doing okay. But anyway, let's go ahead and get to some of these. And I'm going to tell you why I think some of these Solana projects are doing good as we start off with the Solana news. Solana weekly DeFi trading sets all-time high above 11 billion. Now remember, Solana, even for the problems they've had, is still looking pretty strong. And the reason why, as I've said before, that I believe Solana is a very good competitor for those who want an alternative to Ethereum is because it's so much faster to transact and it's so much cheaper. And they're building a lot on the Solana blockchain. They have a lot of development, which is very key on their blockchain. So if you want to do DeFi maneuvers, anybody who's done anything on a Ethereum decentralized finance protocol knows that it's expensive, especially when the market is doing what it's doing right now. A lot of times when you're dealing with some of these Solana or some of these Ethereum dApps or transactions, sometimes the amount that they're going to charge for gas for the transaction fees will be just as high as the amount you're trying to transact. So it's like, yes, it's more thorough, it's more well-developed, it's more secure, it's more trusted for good reason. But some people are going to want to try an alternative, and Solana is that alternative for a lot of developers and a lot of people who are not just building, but are utilizing DeFi. And that's why you're seeing what you're seeing. And especially for like NFTs, Solana has NFTs, and they have DePIN technology on lock right now. They're actually mapping out grids for networks when it comes to telecommunication and for GPS services. So because they're actually doing real services that are disrupting technology and infrastructure, if that catches on, if they're successful with implementing these things, you're going to see not just Solana, but you're going to see a lot of different Solana products go up, just like we're seeing some of these meme coins. So let's just go into this article. Trading volume on Solana based on decentralized exchanges blew past an all-time record this week, cementing the Ethereum's rival place among the top beneficiaries of the crypto market's current steadily escalating bull run. Over the period of February 24th to March 2nd, more than 11.1 billion worth of digital assets were traded on Solana decentralized exchanges. That means the Radium exchange, that's the only one I could think of. Jito. And the reason why people are taking advantage of that is, like I said, like if you want to do, especially if you have like millions or billions or tens of thousands or whatever amount you're doing in trades. And this is why meme coins are popular on Solana, because they're easy to trade, they're quick to trade, they're cheap to trade. If you want to swap Ethereum tokens, especially at a time right now, it almost won't even be worth it. But if you're swapping on a Solana, if you're swapping Solana token, and this is why when it comes to Ethereum, Polygon is doing well, because Polygon's a second layer. It makes it cheaper and faster to do Ethereum transactions and Ethereum maneuvers. So if you think about it, when it comes to Solana, if you want to do, these trades, you're not really going to lose anything for the trade. It makes it very easy to move in and out of these meme coins, in and out of these DePIN coins, in and out of Solana tokens, period, or to deal with Solana dApps. So that's why you're going to see Solana being looked at as an alternative, especially if they can nail down some of the challenges and hiccups that they have had, right? So look at that. The figure is up over 154% from the preceding 7-day period. So this bull run is really favoring Solana a lot in that regard. Those figures far exceed the previous record holder for Solana's DEX best week ever, which was 9.8 billion. Now they're at 11 billion. I expect Solana to still continue to do well. While Solana-based DEX experienced a surge in trading volumes, highlighting the dynamic nature of investment landscape, savvy investors turn to VinoVest to diversify their portfolios. What's this? That's an advertisement. Next. So by far, the DEX with the greatest contribution over the last week, contribution to last week's Solana DeFi frenzy was Orca. It's another one of their DEX. They also have a coin called the Orca, which has seen some 4.7 billion worth of trading volume in the last 7 days, not far behind Radium, which is my DEX of choice on the Solana blockchain, which saw 3.52 billion in trading in the same period. Both exchanges seen activity more than double. So look for Solana, man. A lot of different Solana tokens are doing good. A lot of Solana memes are looking good. Like I said, Solana, look, we have Bunk, you have Dog with Hat. Those are some meme coins. Feeling the frenzy, hitting 2.6 billion, as you can see right here. So Solana is one of those coins that, I definitely am heavily invested in Solana and different Solana meme coins and DePIN technology coins. I do use their Radium exchange. I actually provide liquidity for a few different trading pairs on the Solana exchange or on the Radium exchange as well. Along with I stake Solana, blah, 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 blah. I'm definitely, just fair to say, just to be open about it, I'm definitely invested in Solana. So I'm not trying to shill Solana, but I'm just like, I'm speaking of Solana. I do hold Solana. I do have a vested interest in Solana doing well. And as of now, it is doing well. Look at this. Solana reached its highest chain-wide TVL. That's total value locked. That was December 2021 when assets on the network, I remember reporting on this, eclipsed 9.9 billion total value. So we'll see how that goes. So let's get back to Bitcoin though, because we want to talk about the Bitcoin. Bitcoin is doing what it do, and this is what it do. Think about this. Think about this for all the people who are hesitant to get into Bitcoin. At this point, I don't even want to talk you into Bitcoin. Leave it alone. There's really not enough for me to try to convince everyone that you need to be invested in Bitcoin. If you don't want to invest in it, don't. But for those who have, more than 97% of addresses are in profit. You know what that means? That means the only people who aren't in profit are those who bought it at the last all-time high. You would have had to buy it and only buy it during the last bull run when it reached 69,000 to not be in profit. Remember, it started last year at 15, 16,000. This time last year, Bitcoin was at 15 to 16,000. And I've told the listeners to CryptTalk podcast that 20% of my salary automatically is converted into Bitcoin. Well, last summer, I upped that to 35% based on the fact that I know the halving is coming shortly. Okay? I'm not saying that's what you should do. I'm not saying it's even feasible to put 35% of your salary into any one investment. And of course, a lot of people can't do that. But my thoughts on that personally, this is just me thinking out loud. And I've done this even last bull cycle. And it's because, look, during the bull run, for me, the way I see it is, if I put as many assets into investments, and I have all kinds of different investments as possible, and even if I have to pull back because I over leveraged my income into some investments and I have bills that have to be paid, I mean, at the end of the day, if it sits somewhere for a couple weeks before I have to pull it out to pay a bill during a bull cycle, most likely those assets have increased in value, actually making my bills that much cheaper. So let's say I put 1,000 into Bitcoin, knowing that I have a bill due and maybe I don't have quite enough. If I need to liquidate that Bitcoin and it's up 30%, if it's up 20%, like I think Bitcoin is right now, let's look at it. The 7-day, right? Bitcoin is up 17%. Well, that means I just, made $170. So that makes it cheaper, right? I'm not saying that's a strategy you should do. I'm saying that's just how I see it. So anyway, most Bitcoin addresses bought coins at prices lower than the going market rate, according to Into the Block. So the average Bitcoin acquisition cost of most addresses is less than the cryptocurrency's going market rate. Most people right now, the only people who are not in the black when it comes to Bitcoin right now are those who bought the top. That means those who didn't buy it until it got so popular and everybody was doing it, and the ones who FOMO'd in but didn't listen when we were telling you to buy it at 8,000, at 10,000, at 12,000, at 15,000, at 20,000, at 25,000. No, the only ones that are losing money right now on Bitcoin, the only people who haven't made their money back on Bitcoin right now are those who bought it when it was 69,000. And trust me, if they continue to hold for another 6 months, they're going to be in the profit very lovely. It's unfortunate because I know people who actually only buy Bitcoin and other cryptos only when they're up a lot, which is exact opposite of how you're supposed to invest. But unfortunately, and I'm sure some of you know the same people, some of you may be those type of people who buy Bitcoin. Oh, it's up 30% for the day. It's really the bull's really running right now. Then they want to buy it. And then it comes down, and then they're like, oh, we took a loss, I'm going to sell it. Whatever. Look, man, it's a long game. Bitcoin's recent bullish momentum has the most holding blockchain addresses sitting on unrealized gains on their investment. More than 97% of BTC addresses are now in the money, according to data tracked by analytics firm Into the Block. That's the highest proportion since November 2021, when the largest cryptocurrency by market value hit a record high around 69,000. So right now it's about 66, 67. It got up to about 68 and some change. Look, we're going to probably see Bitcoin surpass the previous all-time high this month. That being the case, that would set a new precedence when it comes to bull cycles for Bitcoin, because typically the all-time high is not reached until after the halving. Here we are 2 months before the halving. Understand how important that is. Understand, really try to conceptualize what this means. Bitcoin right now is mined at 900 Bitcoin a day. That's how many new Bitcoin enter the market, 900 per day. Will come April, that number is going to go down. It's going to be cut in half. That means the output of Bitcoin is going to be cut in half. Now think to yourself, do you think the demand is going to be cut in half, or do you think it will remain the same? If you believe that the demand will remain the same, that means that Bitcoin by default will probably see a double up. That's what that means. Just supply and demand dictates that. Now, if you believe that the demand will increase, and if you've been paying attention to the Michael Saylors and other institutions raising $600 million to buy Bitcoin, and of course we know the ETFs, 11 different ETF issuers buying Bitcoin by the billions. So once that Bitcoin production is cut in half and we continue to see major institutions buying shitloads of Bitcoin, that only means that the price is going to go up. And because it's becoming so much more scarce, we're not going to have the situation. See, a lot of times the Bitcoin prices are kept down by the fact that most of these large institutions, they buy over the counter. So it doesn't really touch the market. They're buying it straight from miners, or they're buying it in thousands of micro transactions when they do deal with Coinbase over the counter services. So it's able to keep the price down. It's going to be a lot harder to do that when there's only half the Bitcoin entering the market now. So we're going to see these price spurts. Plus, we're going to see other people FOMOing in. Plus, we're seeing these countries that are adopting Bitcoin and using Bitcoin. That's why I say 150,000 is really a very conservative number. Now remember, whatever it hits, if it hits 250,000, it might hit 300,000. Who knows? Doesn't mean it's gonna stay there. It will probably still come down and still land higher than it is now, or close to where it is now. Doesn't mean it's gonna stay there, but it's definitely gonna pump there, and it's definitely gonna take other coins with it. But back to the story. So the data has bullish implications for the market, according to In the Block. Given the substantial percentage of addresses and profit, the selling pressure from users attempting to break even no longer has a significant effect. The only problem that I have with the market pumping like this, especially because, like I said, a significant amount of my salary does get converted right into Bitcoin, is yeah, do I want to buy Bitcoin when it's at 65,000, 66,000? Not really. Not when we've had the luxury of buying it for 16,000 for the past couple years, and even 40,000 before this big pump. But since I do believe it is going much higher, it is what it is. I just won't get as many Satoshis. But because we're speaking of a scarce asset, there's only 21 million minus probably the 6,000 that have been lost. So it still makes sense to me to continue to hodl Bitcoin. And like I said, I don't just hodl Bitcoin. I'm stacking other coins, which I expect Bitcoin to push up. So there's that. For newcomers entering the market to purchase coins, they are essentially buying from existing users who are already realizing the profit. And that's how it goes. Because there is such a scarce amount of Bitcoin, it's just going to be us trading Bitcoins back and forth. So those people who bought Bitcoin, who were buying Bitcoin and bought a shitload of Bitcoins for 15,000, they might decide 70,000 is their selling point. Then they'll get back into the market. So there's that. What else do I want to get into? Like I said, and this is what's happening right here. Institutional investors are raising money to buy Bitcoin. MicroStrategy plans to buy $600 million through convertible senior notes to bolster its Bitcoin holding. Not only that, he's also been selling his own stocks for his own personal Bitcoin acquisition. I want to say, what was the number that he's selling worth? It's some crazy number, man. Some crazy hundreds of millions or billions of dollars. He's selling his own stocks in order to buy Bitcoin for himself. Currently holding 193,000 Bitcoin, valued at around 13 billion. MicroStrategy aims to fund additional acquisitions. Like, do you get what's going on? The smart money is going to Bitcoin. So as you can see, the demand is not remaining the same. It's actually growing. So in 2 months, Bitcoin's production will be cut in half. But this type of accumulation will not. It just simply will not. You can't save your way into wealth. You have to have a business. You have to have assets. You have to have investments in order to hedge inflation. I showed you the numbers. Inflation was reported at 8%, I think, in 2023 or for 2022. 8% because all the money being printed. So that means if your income is not increasing 8%, or if you're not getting 8% sitting your money in the bank, you're losing purchasing power. So in America, we may not see the effects of it to the same degree as some other countries. Right? El Salvador loses probably about 50%, or at least they did. That's why they went Bitcoin. They understood that they needed to hedge it for their country. That's a macro level of hedging compared to our micro level of, oh yeah, these prices are going up. Groceries are more expensive. Gas is more expensive. Rent's going up. Blah, 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 blah. Bitcoin, other different type of investments seem to be the solution. Gold has been that hedge for so long. So imagine some of these countries, and you wonder why they're starting to go Bitcoin. It's not a risk. Bitcoin is not a risk to a country that's already losing 50%, 100% of their purchasing power every year. It's not a risk to them. It's a lifesaver to them. Hell, just keeping it in stable coins that are backed by US dollars is a hedge to them. If you're losing 50% of your purchasing power every year, which many countries around the world are, just holding it in a stable coin that's pegged to the US dollar is a big time hedge for your currency. This is why you're seeing a lot of the major economic powers not really very interested in having stable coins around as they create their own central bank digital currencies, because they would rather people hold their central bank digital currencies. The United States would rather Nigeria or El Salvador or different countries that are using crypto to hedge against their inflation. They would rather you be holding that in a central bank digital currency that is backed by the US rather than using a stable coin that's decentralized. This is what the battle between stable coins and central bank digital currency is about. So anyway, Saylor's firm commitment to crypto drives MicroStrategy's consistent Bitcoin accumulation strategy, even amid market fluctuation. And it's not just the MicroStrategies that are buying up the Bitcoin. Of course, BlackRock, Grayscale, ARK Investment, et cetera, Fidelity. You have now banks lobbying for their right to custody crypto. They don't want to miss out. And this is happening worldwide. So look, I'm not trying to orange pill you. I just want those who already know to understand and stay confident that, you're doing the right thing. If you know, you know. For those who don't know, it's hey, they'll know later. The good thing is, because now, you can get Bitcoin on the Wall Street, in the Wall Street market, you can get the ETFs if you want. And for a lot of people, that'll be just fine. For me, I'm not a fan of the ETFs because I understand that just means that the ownership of Bitcoin is moving towards the top. I understand that you won't really own it. You really won't have the sovereignty and the autonomy that you will just own it yourself. And I understand that things can go wrong. I understand that when it comes to these ETFs, you can only do it during trading hours, right? It is centralized. They can stop you. They can do what Robinhood did when people were making too much money off the AMC and the GameStop. So, if you really want that security of being able to really control and hold your own assets, learn how to do it yourself. That's why I say, learn Bitcoin first. Learn how to deal with these decentralized exchanges and protocols, decentralized finance. That way you'll have total control. That way, no matter what happens, you have your assets. If everything else goes wrong, you can still use your Bitcoin to purchase goods and services like you can't do with ETFs. Right? So there's that. Let's get back to Let's get back to this real quick, man. This is the that is the mood right now. That's how I'm feeling, man. Saying late night, can't sleep, Bitcoin's pumping. Yeah. Cardano, like I said, Cardano is going to be one of those, for those who believe in Ethereum, as you should. Cardano is an alternative to Ethereum. NFTs, heavy on the smart contracts, DeFi, etc. Polygon, another one of those Ethereum related, because that's a second layer Ethereum. So like I said, I've done transactions with Ethereum to where it was so expensive I didn't even do it. So Polygon is one of those solutions. The same way Stacks is that solution for Bitcoin, because yes, moving Bitcoin right now is going to be expensive because the network's going to be congested, right? Doing different things with DeFi is more expensive, and Stacks is a second layer, kind of like the Lightning Network, but that's a whole different, Lightning Network's different. But Stacks is something to where those who want to do NFTs, because Bitcoin is so focused on security as they should be, and store of value and decentralization. In order to do NFTs, you do what's called ordinals, and you do that with Stacks, right? So yeah, a lot of different things going on in this crypto game, man. There's so much things I could be really reporting on. Look at this. $2.49 trillion market cap totally right now. 52% of that is Bitcoin. 18% of that is Ethereum. So what we're going to see, you know, especially if we're going to be looking at $150,000 Bitcoin and $250,000 Bitcoin, we're going to be seeing Bitcoin not sitting at a 1.3 trillion market cap. We're going to be seeing Bitcoin at a $3 or $4 trillion market cap. We're going to probably see $5 to $10 trillion enter into the market cap this bull run. And with the current numbers, the current percentages, if 5 trillion, if $10 trillion are in the cryptocurrency market cap, half of that's going to be Bitcoin. And just think about this. 1.3 trillion is the market cap of Bitcoin. Do you know what the market cap of JP Morgan Chase is? It's about a third of that. It's about 500 billion. If you added the top 3 banks in the United States, you wouldn't even touch 1.3 trillion. Think about what that means. That means that Bitcoin is bigger than your bank. That means this decentralized asset that is not just a store of value, not just a currency, not just a medium of exchange, but it's also a payment system in itself, governed by no CEO. There's no headquarters. There's no Bitcoin corporation. There's no president of Bitcoin. This is just a decentralized peer-to-peer, no intermediaries. And collectively, people put more of their trust in that than any 1, 2, or 3 banks. If you understood what that really means, you'd understand why you want to hold Bitcoin, not day trade it. You'd understand like why you want to hold that as you used to hold gold. Because $1 of gold 14 years ago would maybe be $2 right now. $1 of Bitcoin 14 years ago would be like probably $50 million right now. So just think about that. Anyway, CryptTalk, blockchain crypto gang. Make sure you guys like, subscribe, all that good stuff, comment, share. You can hit me up at crypttalkpodcast@gmail.com. You can join blockchain crypto gang. This is what it looks like on Facebook. Thanks for your time, y'all. I'm out. Peace.